This is a timeline of surveyors of culture in the United States up to the year 1860. Our timeline begins in 1737 with the birth of Thomas Paine, author of Common Sense. The second important event on the timeline is the birth of Thomas Jefferson in 1743, author of the Notes on the State of Virginia and third President of the United States. In 1767, Black Hawk was born in the village of his people, the Sauk Native American tribe. Our next surveyor, Omar ibn Said, was born in 1770 in North Africa. He would later be kidnapped and enslaved and brought to the United States. In 1776, Thomas Paine published his pamphlet, Common Sense, which advocated for the American colonies to seek independence from England. 1787 was the year that Thomas Jefferson published his book, Notes on the State of Virginia, which detailed Jefferson's political beliefs and information on the state of Virginia. The United States Constitution was also created this year. In 1790, the United States House of Representatives created the Uniform Rule of Naturalization Law, detailing who could become a citizen of the United States. In 1792, our next surveyor, Sarah Moore Grimke, was born. She would go on to become an activist for women's rights and for the abolition of slavery. The date of David Walker's birth is unknown, but it is believed that he was born in either 1796 or 1797 to a free mother and an enslaved father. In 1801, Thomas Jefferson began his first term as President of the United States. He would serve 2 terms before his presidency ended in 1809. 1803 was the year our next surveyor, Maria Stewart, was born. Born to free parents, she would become a public activist for women's rights as well as African Americans' rights. In 1804, Black Hawk's tribe, the Sauk, were deprived of the majority of their land by a treaty with the United States, though the effect of the treaty was not immediately apparent. 9 years later, in 1813, Harriet Jacobs was born into slavery in North Carolina. Due to the status of some of her family members, she would not become fully aware of her enslaved status until later in life. In 1819, Sarah Moore Grimke traveled to Philadelphia with her father, who died soon after. Grimke's time in Philadelphia with Quakers would influence her later writings. 2 notable events took place in the year 1825. David Walker moved to Boston, and Harriet Jacobs was purchased by James Norcom, who would own her until she eventually escaped to the north. 1826 was another important year for our surveyors, as Maria Stewart was married to her husband, James Stewart, and both Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine passed away. In 1829, Walker published Appeal to the Colored Citizens of the World and disseminated it through underground channels. Maria Stewart's husband, James Stewart, also passed away this year. In 1830, David Walker passed away under somewhat mysterious circumstances, though no evidence of foul play was found. 1831 was the year that Omar ibn Said wrote his autobiography in Arabic. This was also the year that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the state of Georgia in Cherokee Nation v. Georgia court case, creating the legal precedent that Native nations were legally under the supervision of the United States. In 1842, Harriet Jacobs escaped to the north, though she would not legally be free for several more years. In 1848, Said's autobiography was translated into English for the first time, though early translations of his work were filtered through biased translators. The final major point on our timeline is 1861, when Jacobs' novel, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, was published, a written account of her experiences in slavery in the form of a novel.